James chapter 1, verse 16 and 17. Do not be deceived, my beloved brethren. Every good thing given and every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shifting shadow. Do you know that God loves you and has your best interest at heart every single day? What James just told us is that every good thing comes from God, and that there's no shifting or shadow. God never changes. He is the same every day. He always has your best interest at heart. I found one of the best strategies the enemy uses. He comes and ravages someone's life and turns right around and says, God did that, or God let that happen. God doesn't love you. God doesn't care about you. Look at what just happened. And when that occurs, if somebody does not understand and believe what James just said, then they will be deceived. And I believe that's why James said in the very first part of verse 16, do not be deceived. Why would he say that? Because there's a temptation to be deceived. What is the deception? The deception is that there is shifting or shadow with God. That, I hear people say many times, God moves in strange and mysterious ways. No, He doesn't. God moves 100% consistently with His character and His Word. He doesn't do things strange. He doesn't do things out of the ordinary. And see, the purpose of the devil and demonic spirits is to convince you that God is sort of random. One day He's mean and another day He's nice. That God is like an alcoholic father, that you can't tell if He's going to beat you or love you and embrace you. No, God is not like that. There's no shifting or shadow nor turning with God. And what happens when you believe that God is against you, that God is doing something to harm you, you close your heart to God when people blame God. I saw this analogy one time the Lord showed me. God is like a battery in your car, putting out power all the time. Satan can't stop the power from coming out of the battery, so you know what he does? Corrodes the inside of the little cable ring where the battery terminal fits. So the little cable ring fits down over the battery terminal. If there's all kinds of corrosion on the inside of that cable ring, it doesn't matter how much power is coming out of the battery. It's insulated from the cable ring. And when you go to turn the key on the other side of that starter coil, no power hits the starter coil at all. Do you know what most people's conclusion is? The battery is dead. The battery isn't putting out any power. No, that's not the truth. The battery has plenty of power. There's corrosion in the system. So the enemy comes to corrode your heart. And I'll tell you, one of the primary areas of corrosion is exactly this deception that James is talking about, that people believe that God is not for them. People believe that God doesn't love them. People believe that there is shifting or shadow or variation or turning. Instead of believing that every good thing and every perfect gift comes from God, people believe, no, sometimes God gives good gifts and sometimes God gives bad gifts. Sometimes. Now, we're not going to avoid certain areas of suffering and adversity in our lives because we live in a fallen world, and that is absolutely unavoidable. But I want you to know this: God is for you every day of your life. He will walk with you through adversity. I mean, Joseph's brothers threw him in a pit, meant to kill him, sold him to a Midianite caravan into slavery. He was lied about and falsely accused by Potiphar's wife, thrown in prison. Do you know that God was for him every single day of his life? I'm not saying that you won't encounter difficulties or problems on this earth. What I'm telling you is God is not the author of destruction and devastation like many people think. God, there's no shifting or shadow or turning with God. Every good gift comes from Him. And if you'll believe that in your heart, do you know what? You will see victory and you'll overcome every one of these circumstances and fulfill the destiny and the purpose that God has for you. So, Father, I just pray for each one of us today that you would give a revelation in the heart of who you are. That you are for us, not against us. Matter of fact, would you just take a moment and just ask God this question? God, would you just show me today in my life, who are you? Who are you? What do you have to say to me today? Would you take just a moment and listen to Him? Who are you, Father? What do you say about yourself? Who are you to me? Now I pray that you just allow God to continue to speak to you all day, and that this passage would jump off the page and come alive to you. And remember, as you go through your day today, love God, bless people, and you will make a difference.